All right, folks, welcome back to River's Edge. We've got a little unboxing of a special unboxing today. Well, so special I actually had a music in the beginning of my video. I'll probably be doing that, editing music in the videos eventually. But right now I'm in my amateur stage. So, alright folks. Obviously you can see what this is, and you probably saw it in the titles. But this is my very first experience and my very first Chris Reeve Knives Sebenza. What we have here is the small Sebenza 21. It's called the Plane, and you'll see why it's the Plane. Anybody that knows anything about these knives know what the Plane is. But it's a drop point, double lug. We'll explain that later. Right off the bat, the packaging's really nice. Now this obviously isn't a brand new one. I couldn't get my hands on a brand new one with double lugs of the 21 because they're all sold out. You know, I could get a brand new one right now with the single lug. The lug is the thumb stud. I can get a brand new one right now off of Blade HQ of the 21 with a single lug, but you know, I like having a double lug because you never know when you might have to open your blade one-handed with your left hand if for some reason your right hand is occupied. And this obviously is the right-handed model of the Sebenza. So without further ado, first off, right off the bat, got a nice lovely little card here with the Chris Reeve logo on the front. And nice little card here that says a lot of stuff about the company. I'm not going to read that to you. I don't want to bore you all to death. So if you want, you can pause the screen and read that yourself. Okay, pause it now. Okay, you're done pausing it? Okay. And then there's some nice stuff written here about how he started and this and that, which is pretty cool. And so that's some. Let's put that up there so you can get the lighting a little better. So you can pause that and read that yourself if you like. Okay. And we're gonna put this. Anything else? Yeah, and there's some more on the back there. Some more nice things I definitely will be reading. And what do we have here? This is a little card with the birth date. So this knife was born on March 25th, 2019. It's a drop point. The steel is a S35 VN, which was developed with, I don't say by Chris Reeve, but I say with Chris Reeve because he developed it with some people. But Chris Reeve had a huge part in that. So it's the drop point with the S35 VN steel, which is a great steel. And you got your guarantee written on the back there, and it says this knife is guaranteed for life. It's another thing, folks. People know it's too expensive. It's guaranteed for life. You know what I mean? As long as you don't lose it like a fool, the thing's guaranteed for life, you know. So you got that going for you. So what else have we got here in the package? Okay, we've got. Okay, this is what is this? Oh, this is to register the knife. So registration, so you can register it for warranty or whatnot. And I did buy this slightly used. And I say slightly It definitely was hardly used at all. Okay, what else we got here? We got a nice little sticker, Chris Reeves sticker. Okay, and anything else? Okay, we already got that. And then this is, I'm not going to open this because it might have some personal information. Yeah, this is like a receipt. So, and looks like he tore off any personal information off of there, so I can show you this part. This knife was 400 bones, so after tax, and actually, yeah, it was 400 even. So he must have bought this in a state that no sales tax or whatever. So this was 400 bones, 400 even, and it the shipping was $11.27. So it was a $400 knife, 400 even. Let's just call it 400 even. You can get the same exact knife for $375, I believe, or on Blade HQ right now, but all the double lugs are sold out, so you're gonna have to get a single lug. So if you're right-handed and you don't care about the lug on the back, then you're good to go. You can get yourself a brand new Sebenza 21 right now. They've got the Sebenza 31 coming out pretty soon, and you know, you can already pre-order them through Chris Reeves' website, or you can wait till they pop up on Blade HQ or other websites out there. So, and you can get for probably the same price or less than this guy paid for this. You can get a brand new small Sebenza 31, the updated model. As of right now, you can get a brand new Sebenza 21 with the single lug for, I think it's $375 or $350. Pretty sure it's $375, might be $350 on Blade HQ. So what else? What's in the box? What else is in the box? Fluorinated grease and a little tiny little Allen wrench tool, so you can work on your own knife and maintain your own knife. It's another cool thing that we'll talk about with these Sebenzas. Okay, so I'm gonna push that aside there. So a lot of you know all about this. There's some people that are new to this knife that don't, you know, that are very late in the game and that don't know much about them. So and then there's people that love this knife that are gonna want to see all the new videos no matter what on YouTube. And so, but right off the bat, this is a very, very soft, very velvety microfiber type cloth that it comes wrapped in, and it's got the nice Chris Reeve logo on there, and it's even printed Chris Reeve knives, not to be confused with Christopher Reeve, or Christopher Reeves with an S, I forget, not to be confused with Superman, but this guy literally is the Superman of the knife industry. So without further ado, okay. That's gotta annoy the shit out of some of y'all. Okay, so here we go. Flipped it open. Now these, just look at the, first of all, let me just talk about this here. My. So pretty. So beautiful, the glow. Hey, say in the comments what movie that line's from. First person to make a comment of what that movie, what the line from what that movie is, that line is in. First person says that in the comments, I'm gonna give you a little gift. I'm not quite sure what yet, but don't get your hopes up. It's not gonna be $400 Sebenza, but we'll think of something. It'll be something nice. Not $400 nice, but you'll be stoked. Okay, so we're gonna do that little contest there. I imagine there's gonna be a shitload of comments on this particular video. So this one was pre-loved by somebody, and I think he just decided maybe he wanted a bigger one. The Sebenza large. This is a Sebenza small, as I already stated, but but just look at this beauty. I mean, it comes with this beautiful cloth to keep her clean, and a lot of people baby these knives. I wanted my first one to be the plain one with this beautiful plain titanium. Looks like a sand washed or bee blasted or something. Just gorgeous. I wanted mine to be plain like this because I want to carry it every day and use it and abuse it, and it's gonna be my blue collar working man's knife. But now I cheated. I already opened this and checked it out, but wrapped it back up for presentation purposes, or what does my mother man on YouTube say? For dramatic effect. Oh man, forget the guy's name. Great YouTuber. He's got that adorable little cat named Boots or something. What? White Shoes. His cat's name's White Shoes. That guy's a great YouTuber. Anyways, for dramatic effect. Bless his heart. That guy cracks me up, and I adore his cat. Anyways, White Shoes. I'm going to do shout out to White Shoes from my video. Shout out to White Shoes. That cat made him famous, but he had a little say in that as well. Great YouTuber. Anyways, back to the point here. Says right on there, it says Idaho made. Really nice titanium, very strong pocket clip. It's not a deep carry pocket clip, but I mean, this is probably one of the only knives I'd let get away with not having a deep carry pocket clip, because these are just perfect. I would like to see if he I don't think he did, but I would like to see him do a deep pocket carry and see what it looks like. But honestly, these smaller ones, I would like to see if they put a little, you take this pocket, I'm not sure if that's like blasphemy or whatever, or to take the pocket clip off and put a little filler right there and just keep this in a slip. I got this little this is from one of my Seidel harmonicas, made in Germany, best harmonicas on the planet. That's a whole other video, but that fits nicely as a slip if I just want to slip that in my pocket and keep it from my keys and everything else scratching her up. Like I said, I'm going to use and abuse it, but I mean, until I get my, whatever. But actually, this particular one, I think I'm going to preserve this particular one because I've decided that it's a little small for my preference. And I want the bigger one. So I'm going to get 2 large Sebenzas. I want one just like this, with double lugs in the 31, in the large size, and I want another large, but with the wood inlays, hopefully a Cocobolo, to match my beautiful Springfield Armory EMP 1911 which has the Cocobolo handles. I mean, it would just totally match it up for my EDC purposes, because you know, a lot of us EDC folks play dress up with our toys. You know, we gotta play matchies, you know, twinsies and whatnot. There's gonna be a lot of haters in the comments saying, yeah, whatever, man, just carry your gun and wallet and your knife or whatever, just put it in your pocket, whatever, forget about it, man. You know, there's always those guys, but and I was that guy. But you know, once you get one nice thing, then you start playing matchup, and then you got an EDC addiction, and then fail on that. No, these weren't meant. Let's get back to this point here. These weren't meant to do that, but you can do that once you break them in. And this one was pre-loved, so it's kind of slightly broken in. Still a little tight though, which I prefer. But they're meant to just open like this. Just a nice slow ritual until it clicks into place, and then you get that satisfying click. Let me pull this up to the mic so you can hear that satisfying click. Yeah. Oh, it's just so satisfying. And then when you close it, it's just so satisfying. So, what else can I say about this? So, I mean, you see hardly, I don't see any signs of usage from this pre-loved Sebenza. There's just the slight, what we call in the industry, the snail trails on the titanium here. And you see it just slightly right in this area right here. Very ever so slightly. Just from somebody carrying it in their pocket, and perhaps maybe their keys or something rubbed against it here and there. But just in this area right there. Or maybe they wear a wedding ring and the wedding ring kind of rubbed on it here and there. But it's so slight. I got to do the lighting just right so you can see it, what I'm talking about. There it is. Camera's focusing perfect on it right now. So it's right about there, in that area. Little snail trails, which I don't mind at all. I mean, the guy got $300 out of me for this. I know some of y'all are gonna think I'm crazy, but it's well worth it. I may sell this because I want the bigger one, but I may just keep it just so I can have a small one in my collection. So instead of because I was gonna get one small and one large, but when I got this, I decided, you know what? I want two large. I want one fancy one to go with my knife, and one workhorse. I mean, one fancy one to go with my gun. And then I want one workhorse that's just plain. I just love the look of and feel of the plain titanium. Honestly, I probably, when I get my 31s, which I already ordered, I'm probably gonna love the plain one more than the one with the wood inlays. But the one with the wood inlays is gonna look purtier in my pictures with my gun. And you know, obviously they're like kids. They're like a new baby. We're gonna annoy the shit out of all our friends and followers on Facebook and Instagram with pictures of our new baby, our ugly little baby that we think's the cutest thing in the whole entire solar system. So yeah, so that's gonna happen, of course, and I've already started to do that with this little guy. I switch up my knives when I do unboxings and stuff, but I've been favoring this one lately. So but just love this knife. Little one fun fact is Chris Reeve is the one that gifted to the world the frame lock. That little lock there, the frame lock. he invented that, and all the other companies followed suit after that. Everybody loves that nice little click. It just feels so nice pushing it and closing it like that. If you're a liner lock person and you like the liner lock, you'll love the frame lock if you've never tried a frame lock. If you like the line, let me say that again. If you like liner lock and you've never tried a frame lock, you're going to love the frame lock. It's easier. It's more of an experience. It just feels like this is the way knives should have always been. And don't get me wrong, I have me I jumped on the Sebenza bandwagon, and of course, I jumped on the Benchmade bandwagon and got the ever so popular Bugout, which has the access lock, so you can flick it open and flick it closed, and you can also chop your finger open like that by doing that as well. It's really fun to fidget with them and flip them closed and flip them open and flip them closed, and that's all fun and games and whatnot until you chop the tip of your finger off. And obviously I didn't chop. Light down. Oh, it dropped my little baby Light. Oh, and she goes so well with the Sebi. Okay, we're just gonna put that in the background there. So so I like the old Axis lock, but is it the greatest thing on the planet to me? Not for me. It's fun to fidget with these, and trust me, I do like them. I have my fair share of Benchmades with the Axis lock. But let's get a better angle here. We're gonna move this down. But I like it, but let's turn this way so we can see the Chris Reeve logo better. Okay. Alrighty, there we have her. Okay, so as I was saying, I like that and all, but I just think that this action feels more natural to me. This feels like a man's knife, and this one, especially with the original Grivery scales, which is a fancy word for fancy plastic, with the original Grivery scales, which are even thinner and lighter than these aftermarket titanium scales that I put on there, this feels like a toy. Now you go and put aftermarket titanium scales or brass or what do you call it, copper. It's going to be heavier. It's not going to feel as much of a toy, but it's still even slightly toyish with these handles. It feels like a man's knife now when you get rid of the Grivery scales, which I'm not a fan of the Grivery scales. I don't know why Benchmade put a freaking expensive model out with these, it glows in the dark with this weird looking detail in the middle of it and some weird looking carbon fiber, and then charge $700 for it, and it's still a toy. Why wouldn't Benchmade make a special edition with titanium scales like this? Make it feel more like a man's knife in your hand. It's a little heavier, a little beefier, feels better. You can use it like a working man's knife with these scales. And why wouldn't they do that? Because they can't charge $700 for it, because I can go and put aftermarket scales on it for $80, and for $120, $130 knife plus 80 bucks, so you know, a little over 200 bucks. I get a working man's knife, as opposed to that $700 monstrosity with toy scales on it. Not a fan. If you have that knife, sorry, it's just my opinion, but you know, if you bought it, you fell in love with it, and there's a reason you like it. You'd probably love carbon fiber. You probably love stuff that glows. I love stuff that glows. I mean, look at this. I got a little glow in the dark little thing from my Apple thing. You know, I got the little glow diffuser from my Olight. When you turn it off, it glows, so you can find it in the dark. You know, I love stuff that glows. You'd be surprised how much stuff I have that glows. But yeah, I'm rambling on. This video is about this, and this particular video, this particular knife deserves a long video, especially since it's my first Sebenza, and because it's a Sebenza, it deserves a long video. And what else can I say about this? It comes with that with the little what do you call it, the Allen wrench, so you can work on your own knife. You can open her up with a simple little Allen wrench. You don't have to use theirs, and you can open her up and you know, work on it and put it back together. He built it a very simple design, very transparent, very simple design. There's nothing simple about this knife though, because it's made down to the most strict of tolerances, like stricter than aerospace technology, you know what I mean? So yeah, so you can open this up, you can work on it, lube on it. Is this video about knives or what? You can work on it, lube on it. And okay, trying to keep my cool here, and you know, maintain it, clean it, put it back together, and you put it back together, it's still gonna work the same. You know, you can't really mess these up, and if you do, you're a dummy. But they usually come with a lanyard. You can order it without a lanyard. This one looks like it had a lanyard, and the guy cut it off, cut the lanyard out with probably with another knife or scissors or something. But and anything else about this? Yeah, just look at that design, the way they cut into there, so it makes it easier to bend this out and close it. It's just the engineering and everything, so simple yet so perfect and beautiful. Love everything about this knife. Now I was watching let's see here. Where did I put my phone there? Okay. So I was watching a video on YouTube, you know, from an amazing YouTuber, and his I'm looking at his forget the name of his YouTube channel. I think it's the same as his Instagram channel, but it's SC Bushcraft Backwoods, for South Carolina Bushcraft Backwoods, and that's his Instagram name. Go ahead and give that guy a follow. Great guy. We've become Insta friends and YouTube friends, and just a great guy. You know, he's got a decent amount of followers on, you know, on Instagram, but in my opinion, he should have a ton more followers, because, you know, he's got great EDC pictures, he's got good, you know, bushcraft knowledge, and he reviews some beautiful knives on YouTube. and he's got a decent amount of followers on YouTube as well. He would have a lot more followers, but he had to take some time off when his wife had a kid. Him and his wife had a kid. But anyways, that's South Carolina Bushcraft Backwoods. I was watching a video of his, and he was showing the Sebenza, the small Sebenza. He usually does big fixed blades, bushcraft, you know, survival type beautiful knives. He knows his stuff, and it's quite entertaining. And yeah, it's a great channel. I'm following him, and anyways, I was watching his video, and he was comparing it to knives, comparing the small Sebenza to other knives. And while I was watching it, I was like, please compare it. Please compare it to the Bugout. You know, now obviously there's no comparison between a Bugout and a Sebenza. They're two different levels. But, you know, I think the Bugout is a gateway drug to a Sebenza, because you buy it and you're like, this is amazing, and the size is like great and this and that, but then you're like, these scales are a little too plasticky, they're a little too light, they're a little too skinny. Let me see if there's some aftermarket scales. Then I pop some titanium scales on there, and then I see the Sebenza, and I was like, wow, that Sebenza is like, that's like the, you know, that's like the Ferrari of Bugouts or something, you know what I mean? It's like, so I felt like, you know, it's like a gateway drug to a Sebenza. Now I thought that the small Sebenza was going to be more comparable to the Bugout. And when you see in some videos, they don't look too far away in size, but as I move the camera over the top here, put them closer together. I'll try and get them, let me just articulate my screen so I can see this better. But we're going to put them closer together, try and even them up. But right off the bat, let me see here. Right off the bat, you can see the Sebenza. It's a little shorter, a little skinnier, a little smaller. Now when you look at it in this video with them side by side, it doesn't look that much smaller. But if you bought yourself a what do you call it, if you bought yourself a Bugout and you're like, and I need something a little more beefy, a little bigger, and you know, a little more substantial. If you bought yourself a Bugout and you're saying that, and then you're looking at the Sebenza and you're like, wow, it's expensive, but man, look at that knife and this and that, and you're on the fence for a Sebenza. But let's say you're like me and you're like, the Bugout was borderline a little small, borderline. Then you go and buy a Sebenza, the Sebenza small, and let me tell you, it's even smaller. And so, you know, you might be disappointed with the small Sebenza. Then again, you know, you might get it in your hands. And so I'd suggest, if there's a place in your neighborhood where you can see the large and the small Sebenzas in your person, bring your Bugout with you or whatever your current EDC knife is with you, and compare them in person, the large and the small and your favorite EDC, and compare them in person if you can. I mean, even if it's a couple of used ones that are in decent shape, or if you know somebody, if you got a friend that has one and you can like compare it, I suggest doing that. But I mean, you could just buy both and keep both if you want, or just keep the one that you want, and sell the one that you don't. I mean, the resale value on these things are phenomenal. I mean, sometimes you can sell a used one for the same price as a brand new one. Sometimes I've seen used ones that are in brand new condition sell for more than the original price because they're sold out and you can't get that model anymore, and the price goes up on these things. I mean, I tell you, these things hold their value. They're collector's items, and there's people out there that have a whole collection of these expensive knives. I'd like a whole collection of them, but I'll tell you what, I'm already on my way to a collection. As soon as I get my other two, I'm going to have 3 of them, and I have a collection. But honestly, if the Bugout is just a little too small for you, and you want something a little beefier, a little bigger, and you're on the fence about a Sebenza, you're probably going to want the Sebenza large. It's going to be a little bit bigger than a Bugout, just a tiny bit, and the blade is going to be a tiny bit longer, but not much longer. But the blade length on these, let's try and get a fair side by side on this. But the blade length on these looks like Bugout's got, it's hard to tell in the picture, but it looks like Bugout's got a 1/4 inch. Is that even? Yeah, Bugout has about a 1/4 inch longer blade than the small. So that's another thing. If you want a longer blade, if you want a longer blade than a Bugout, or at least close in size to a Bugout, I would go with the large. If you don't want a smaller blade than a Bugout, and you're interested in Sebenzas, if you don't want a smaller blade, then don't get the small Sebenza. If you're like me, get both. But you know what I mean. But if you're gonna buy 3 of them, get 2 large and 1 small. That's what I'm doing. So this is I ordered the new 31s, and I was so excited I couldn't wait to get it in my hands. And I still got like 5 months to go for it to come here. They're that much in demand that it takes 6 months to get a brand new one to order it from Chris Reeves. Unless there's unless somebody launches a bunch on Blade HQ or website or something, you can't get one of these right away. So, but there you have her. I really was looking all over YouTube trying to find somebody to compare the small to the Bugout, and when I get my big one here, I'll compare the big one to my Bugout, and I call that's my tie bug. And my tie bug bit me, and the day that it bit me is the day that I was online looking at Sebenzas. Tie bug knew, and tie bug bit me, and there's a little mark there. It doesn't look, it looks tiny now because it's all healing up, but like there was a chunk of the tip of my finger about that big hanging off, and there's blood flying everywhere, just because I was flipping it back and forth like this. And I know we're gonna have some haters in the comments saying they're not toys, but what are you gonna do? There's always gonna be at least one of those. So go ahead and chime in the comments if you want to say they're not toys, blah blah blah. You can say it just like that if you like, and just to get it out of your system. It's okay. Sometimes you gotta let the feels out. You gotta let the feels out. But they look like they could be friends. You know, they could hang out together and go have tea together and whatnot. But this knife is a whole other level. And this one's cheaper. You can feel better about beating the living crap out of it. And then you know, if you finally kill it, you can put your old scales back on. That's another thing I recommend. If you got a bug out, keep your old scales, because if you got to send it in to be worked on, put your old scales back on, just in case you have any trouble with warranty and this and that. Because if you mess up your blade and, you know, they can't sharpen it or fix it, they're going to send you back a knife with a brand new blade in it from Benchmade. So, you know, they got that going for them. But that's just my thing. But and then Chris Reeves, lifetime warranty. Chris Reeve knives, lifetime warranty on their knives. So anything happens, you can send it in, they fix it or replace it. And you know, I mean, they're not gonna fix any snail trails on it, or right, you know, but you can pay a little bit extra. I think it's like $40 or something, and they buff out the snail trails and they give it a spa day, and they make this thing look like the day you bought it. And so you can get warranty work done on it, and then if you want to do like little cosmetic things to it, that's extra. It's only going to be like $40. You're not going to have your knife for a month or two, but when you get it back, you're going to have a brand new Sebenza, basically. So that's a really cool thing about Chris Reeve knives. And you know, Benchmade has their you know, lifetime, you know, life sharp thing, so that you can send it in, they'll sharpen it for you. And then, you know, people have messed up their blades and they replace the blades. This video isn't about the Benchmade though, so we're gonna take that back out of the picture now that we've compared them. Let's compare them one more time. Let me see if I can get an angle of this. But a lot of people are going to want to see the comparison. Now, because the Sebenza is up front, it looks bigger, so that's an illusion. But dun, 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 dun. I feel like there should be some music while I'm doing this. But yeah, so that's the Sebi, and I put the longer deep pocket carry on my Bugout. So here's a comparison of them. For those of you that want to see, you can pause the screen and see the difference. So yeah, wow, this video has been 45 minutes, and there's my guitar and my ceiling. This video has been 45 minutes. Oh my goodness. But it's my first Sebi. This needs to be an hour video. Am I right? Am I right? So let's see what kind of stuff can go with my EDC with this. You know, we got the Sebi, we got the bit bar by Big Ideas Designs. This thing is amazing. Pop the bits out and pop that in that end. Boom, you got a whole bunch of bits, and they all fit, and it's very flat and very strong. You can take out these 4 bits and then crack open a beer with it. It's freaking awesome. Anyways, but this is about Chris Reeve. We're seeing what stuff goes nicely with the EDC. And now you got Big Idea Designs little EDC adjustable wrench. This thing is dope. I mean, straight awesome. And what else? You know, we got a all Lynch Northwest all access pass, the V1.5. I prefer the V1.5 because it's a little bit bigger. than the V 2.0 or the new V 2.5. But I ordered a couple of V 2.5s anyways. I'm crazy with the EDC stuff, but if you've been bitten by the EDC bug, you know. So we got another. Let's put these together since they're the same brand. That's another Big Idea Designs product, and that's one of their adjustable pens. I have it adjusted to the smallest size. You can put a big refill and it'll be a full length pen, or you can put a small Parker style refill and it's a small EDC-able pen, you know. And what else can we put with this? We can put my little O-Light, which I dropped earlier in the video. Poor little guy. Let me see. She fell on the concrete. Oh, she got her first little ding. But that's what I love about titanium. When they start to get scratched up and dinged up, they start to look really cool, like a battle-worn lightsaber or something from Star Wars. What else? You know, I always got to carry one little backup. So this is a rechargeable, O-Light S1R2 Winter Edition, which is raw titanium or bead blasted titanium. But I always like to carry a backup flashlight that's just regular battery powered, and you can put rechargeable AAA batteries in this. But this one is a little Prometheus, one. So I don't always carry these two, but sometimes I do. So let's get a look-see here of this motley crew. So we got a nice titanium EDC setup. This isn't the most affordable setup, but it is pretty, wouldn't you say? I love titanium. I have a titanium fetish. I love copper, I love brass, and I love titanium. For a long time, copper was my EDC of choice, but it's just so darn heavy. So I don't carry a lot of copper anymore. I still collect a lot of copper and still carry some copper stuff. But most times, if you catch me and say, what's in your pocket? Most times it's going to be mostly titanium now, because it's lightweight, it's strong. It patinas in a different way. It patinas in a different way by, like, it gets these battle scars and it looks real cool. Brass and copper patina by their color and the over time and the rich tones and colors that they pick up over time, and looks really, really cool. There's a little tie bead on there with a lanyard. I'm gonna make my own lanyards and put them on these guys. Most times I'm gonna be carrying titanium stuff. Oh, is it? Yeah, as I was saying, they get beat up and scratched up over time. They look battle worn, but it looks so cool. Titanium, but the same thing with copper and brass, they patina differently, is what I was talking about before I went off into other stuff. But so there she is, the beautiful Chris Reeves Sebenza, my first one. This is a glorious day. Glorious! Not sure if you've seen that new show on what do you call it? Netflix, a little cartoon, something Arcadia or whatever. I'm about 3 miles, maybe 5 miles from Arcadia. I'm in East Pasadena. But anyways, one of their annoying characters always says, "Glorious! It'll be a glorious death." So, yeah, the guy really overuses the word glorious. But this is a glorious knife, and just love it. Would you look at that? Just look at it. Would you look at it? Just look at it. Let's get a little more light on this subject here. Would you look at that? Just look at it. Just look at it. Would you look at that? Look at it. All right, folks. I said this deserves an hour video, and we're almost at an hour, but I'm running out of stuff to say, and I want to pick up this knife and play, and I'm a poet, and I didn't know it. So there you have her, folks. The beautiful Sebenza by Chris Reeve Knives. He makes a plethora of beautiful knives, and none of them are under 350 bucks. They're all around 400, and the larger ones cost a bit more, depending what you get and what kind of amenities, or what type of extras you get on it. It could go up into 650 bucks or whatever. I'm not a fan of what do you call it, the Damascus. I'm lost for words there for a second. I'm not a fan of Damascus at all. Yeah, I'm probably piss off a few fans here, but yeah, I kind of liked it when it first came out. I was like, whoa, that's cool. But I just don't like Damascus. It's not my thing. I like a plain satin knife, and if I like anything else, maybe like a stonewash black stonewash knife. But I don't like coated knives usually, like black or whatever. But some of those, copper coated knives are looking kind of cool, but I could never see that on a Sebenza. It just wouldn't seem right for a Sebenza. But yeah, so luckily I'm not a fan of Damascus, and so I'm not going to pay the extra high dollar ticket to get a Damascus version. I call it dumb ass kiss. No, I'm just kidding. Don't take it personal, Damascus fans. But for me, I'd be a dumbass if I bought Damascus, because I'm not a huge fan of it. And I actually bought one, but it's like that cheap Alabama Damascus or whatever, or Arkansas Damascus. I forget, Arkansas or Alabama, I forget, but it's the cheaper stuff. I got it on one of the, just a cheap little Skyline that was like $70, Kershaw Skyline, and I got a used Skyline that had a Damascus blade on it, and I just bought it because it had the copper Skyline scales, but the Damascus was so worn off and it just looked so crappy. So but again, that's that like Alabama Damascus, the cheaper stuff, so I don't know how the other Damascus wears out. But to me it seems like if you buy a Damascus knife, you're not using it, so it's not going to wear out. You probably just got it up in the on the mantle or in a glass case or something, and you take it out and show your friends once in a while. But there's people on there. There's a guy on the Chris Reeves fan page. I forget the guy's name, but y'all that follow the Chris Reeves fan page on Facebook know who he is, because he makes these cringy videos where he just abuses the crap out of his Damascus Sebenza knife that's like a $700 knife. and he just abuses the crap out of it, and everybody's just cringes, but they love to watch it. Anyways, it's like they hate it but love it. They hate to love it, you know. So, but that guy, he's hilarious. I forgot his name. I'd give him a shout out if I can remember. But you know who you are. You did that video stabbing your tire and ripping it open. That was hilarious, dude. And all the people's comments. And then there's another guy. He straps his Chris Reeve to a. He straps his Sebenza to his weed eater, and he's chopping his grass with it. It's such a cringy video because you know how expensive these things are, and this guy's just beating the living hell out of his knife like that. But the funny thing is, you know, as soon as he, you know, cuts the zip ties off and takes his knife off of there, the knife's still going to work perfectly fine. You might have to sharpen it a bit, you know, there might be a few dings here and there from rocks kicking back up on it, but the knife's going to be perfectly fine. Just if you send it in for warranty, don't let them see that video. Anyways, thank y'all. It's been almost an hour, but you know what I mean, this is a special day, my first Sebenza. And you know, it's a used one. I'm gonna have another special day when I get my first brand new Sebenzas in about 5 months. So and that's probably gonna be an hour video too, so just brace yourselves. Usually my videos are around 15 minutes, 30 minutes at the most. You know, 15-20 minutes, you know, but sometimes I do short, you know, quickie videos, and I do 1 minute reviews on Instagram sometimes that are kind of funny because you have to cram a bunch of stuff in 1 minute, and I have to talk real fast, and it's kind of funny to watch those 1 minute reviews. And then what I'll do is if the knife is worthy of a extended review, then I'll put an extended review up on YouTube for them to check it out. So there you have it, folks. It's been about an hour. It's, you know, 57 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out. It's pretty much, you know, rounded up to an hour. And that's give me a follow, like, comment, subscribe. If you could do a little, you know, hit the little bell icon. That'll notificate you. It'll notify you when I put my next video out. And so that way, you know, you get that little notification, and you're like, get to run and go, hey, oh, River put out a new video. I gotta go see what he's got going on. Whatever. I'm totally geeking out right now. I do that quite often. But again, thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, give me a follow. I'm new to this. Promise I'll get better. And as usual, whoopsh, have a blessed day.